Hey guys, what's up? Neil Temple of Doom here from Pop Cultured with Silver Screen Sheen and team. Check us out on the radio every Saturday at 5 p.m. at cjbk.com, and that is a Bell Media station on iHeartRadio. So today I have another movie review coming at you, and this time I'm going to review Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, based on the novel by Ernest Cline. And I understand because of the success of Ready Player One, there's going to be a sequel to that. So that'll be interesting to see. I had mixed feelings about Ready Player One, and before I get into that, I'm going to just briefly let you know what the plot is. It's set in the future, so it's 2045, and a lot of Earth's people have decided to just live in their apartments and play virtual reality games. It seems that a lot of the planet is it seems to be kind of broken and empty, and people are living in these chicken coop houses and stuff, and it's just like that's not a very optimistic view of the future. And of course, playing video games is no way to solve their problems. But but everyone seems to be addicted to this game called Oasis, which is this virtual reality open world where you can become anything you want to do. So you can become an avatar of whatever. You can call up the DeLorean from Back to the Future, or you could call up the Iron Giant or something. It's just any kind of pop culture reference that you want to indulge in, you can be. So and then there's like races and other competitions and things like that. So it's cool to see that. There's a lot of pop culture references to video game characters, certainly in here. I won't give too many away. Certainly Street Fighter is one that stands out, and Donkey Kong, which are things that people have seen in the preview. I think that that's really pandering to the fans, honestly. It's just maybe too much fan service, if there's such a thing. But anyway, the story really does concern this guy named Wade Watts, who is an orphan. He lives in Columbus, Ohio, with his aunt. And he's a master gamer. They call them gunters, and these gamers are the ones that are, the ones that are the best at the game. And so him and a few other of his friends in the virtual reality world, they compete against each other in these races. And one day he discovers that there are Easter eggs in the game, and he needs to find these three keys. And so they work together to try and find these three keys to finish the game. And we've got our antagonist here, played by Ben Mendelsohn from Rogue One. If you remember him, he was Director Krennic, and he is not wanting people to finish the game, or he doesn't want people to discover all the the truth about everything. And once the film ends, we discover what the truth is, and why the creator made it. The creator of the game is played by Mark Rylance. Really good performance here by the Oscar winner, and Ty Sheridan is in the lead here. He was Cyclops in X-Men Apocalypse a couple of years ago, and he does a pretty good job here as this Parzival is the character's name in terms of the avatar for his character, but Wade Watts is his real name, of course. We got some other good, fine performances here from Olivia Cooke and T.J. Miller, Simon Pegg as well, are all in this movie. And it's fun at times, but there are also some tedious times in this movie. So I was a little bit surprised that it is a Steven Spielberg movie. Usually he does keep the intensity and the action going quite a bit, but there are moments where you're just kind of like, okay, get to the next part, because honestly, there are certain scenes and chunks of this movie that tend to drag, and it's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? I did have issues with the pacing of this film. I thought that it was, like I said, too pandering to the fans, just a little bit too pop culture references. It seems to be like what the movie's all about. That was really the selling point of this film. It had such great trailers, great previews, with the Rush song and the Aha and everything. And it really, does try to target the demographic of kids that grew up in the 80s and 90s like myself. So I appreciated all that. I was like, yeah, this is like a movie for me with all the references from yesteryear. But there's some current references as well. There's Overwatch characters and things like that you'll see that, are relevant to today's video gaming world as well. So it was fun at times. It was fun to see that. When the action was going, during the race is very exciting. It's very entertaining. It did just seem like a long cartoon with a little bit of live action, though, and I would have preferred a little bit more live action, even though Ben Mendelsohn is really good as the villain here. I did enjoy, the performances, but I didn't care so much for the human aspect of the film, and even the CGI, Oasis virtual reality world got a little bit boring at times. Just a little too dialogue heavy, and I felt that the entire crowd that I went to go see the movie with felt the same way. Everyone just kind of had the same reaction, like, yeah, I'm like, move along. So really, the pacing was a bit of an issue. The story wasn't that interesting. It is reminiscent of Tron, a little bit like Avatar, but not exactly. That's kind of a different scenario. But still, anytime you have a human character, a live-action character, jumping into an avatar, of some kind, whether it's CGI or whatever, they take a big risk there, and having that kind of duality to the film. So it's almost like two movies in one, right? But it just wasn't that exciting, unfortunately. And I expected a little bit more from Steven Spielberg. I think he's one of the greatest directors of all time, of course. But this movie just seemed kind of like, pandering to fans and just like I said, just too much fan service and just not enough interesting ideas going around. The look of the film was great, the sound of the film was great, the soundtrack is killer, of course. It's all wonderful 80s tunes and whatnot mostly. But anyway, I definitely recommend the soundtrack. The movie itself is worth watching once. I don't think you have to see it in the theater. I think you could see this on Blu-ray or even streaming it, when it comes on Netflix or whatever. But I'm going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10 for now. It might go up a bit on second viewing. It might even go down a bit. Who knows, right? But for now, 6.5 out of 10 is my score. And that's just because I wasn't that enthused with it. It just didn't really engage the audience so much as it was just kind of a little bit hollow on all the fan service, So it's like, hey, look, Chun-Li, wow, but when you see characters that you recognize, yippee. But otherwise, we need more of a story. We needed a bit more intensity of the story. But there are some interesting sequences here and some surprises I won't spoil. So, like I said, it's worth seeing once, but it's just not really anywhere near a classic like some of the other critics are saying. But anyway, it's not bad. So 6.5, not a bad score for Ready Player One. And thank you guys so much for checking out this review of Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. The sequel will be very interesting to see. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, but in the meantime, give it a shot if you want to. I thought it was okay. Until next time, guys, this is Neil from Pop Cultured with Silver Screen Sheen and team. Check us out on the radio Saturdays at 5 at cjbk.com. All right, guys, until next time, peace.